A police shooting in Grand Rapids, Michigan is renewing questions about de-escalation tactics. The video of this incident, we have to tell you, is extremely disturbing. 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya was killed after resisting and running away during a traffic stop. He and the officer wrestled over the taser before Lyoya was shot in the head while lying face down on the ground with the officer on top of him. Adriana Diaz is in Grand Rapids. She's been following this story from the beginning. Adriana, good morning. Every time people look at the video, the question is whether no other option here.
That's exactly right. Now, Gayle, you saw the video. The situation escalates in a matter of mere minutes. So that key question is, should the officer have acted differently to de-escalate based on his training? We looked up the Grand Rapids police policy, and it states that an officer should always try to control a situation using verbal commands. But if a suspect does not comply, only then can the officer escalate to use physical force. The amount of force should be, quote, reasonable and based on the level of resistance encountered. Now, in terms of de-escalation, the policy only says that as the subject begins to de-escalate or lessen the resistance offered, the officer must de-escalate in a similar manner. Now, for clarity, we spoke to a criminal procedure professor here in Michigan who also happens to be a former detective with the state police. His name is Louis Langham. And we asked him, we said, did the officer act in line with this policy? Here's what he said.
There was substantial compliance to that policy. Based upon what was taking place, the verbal commands given by the officer, they were ignored, and it escalates up from there. I didn't see any major problems with the officer's actions necessarily as it relates to whether or not he did what he was supposed to do for the most part in trying to control the situation without using any type of excessive force or violence. And then things obviously got out of control.
Protesters and the family, attorney Ben Crump, say it was the officer who escalated the situation. Some of the community that we spoke to last night said police need not only more de-escalation training, but also more mental health and diversity training. Now, this officer is on paid administrative leave while the Michigan State Police investigates the incident. Then the Kent County prosecutor will look at the findings from that investigation to determine if any charges are warranted. Gayle?
Adriana, what have we heard from Mr. Lyoya's family?
Gayle, we spoke to them yesterday, and the family is broken. The mother was crying throughout the press conference. We sat down with the family afterwards, and this family moved to the U.S. from the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2014. They fled war there. They're refugees. And the father told us, we left our country to come to America for safety. And he said he cannot imagine that this has happened here. He said, my son was killed like an animal. The family wants prosecutors to charge this officer to the fullest extent of the law. Gayle?
All right, Adriana Diaz reporting. Thank you.